and welcome to the Lyman Wolf Podcast. I am your host, Raceland, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Nate. What's going on, dude?
Not much. Just been watching some anime.
Anime indeed. We are doing another anime swap. Nate, you decided you wanted to do another anime swap because you enjoyed the first one, didn't you?
Yes. I always like to dip my toes into watching some anime, so
And if you
this
haven't,
was a good idea.
go ahead. Yeah, if you
I
hadn't,
just
if you hadn't seen the first episode, what we mean by anime swap is we each pick an anime that one of us has seen, and we make the other person watch it. Usually, it has to be a really short anime, usually like 12 to 18 episodes long, real short anime, and we review the animes that we both watched. Pretty simple.
Yep.
And on this episode, we watched the two animes, Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online, available on Hulu, and that was the one I picked for Nate to watch, and then he had me watch the Romance Killer anime on the Netflix original. And
Yes.
I guess we're going to go ahead and start with you, Nate, on your opinion on Gun Gale, since this was your topic. So,
Alrighty.
what did you think of the anime?
Alright, so my overall rating
Oh, real quick.
is...
I'm sorry to cut you off. I know you just started.
Okay. No,
We are going to be spoiling these animes. Just a
That is true, yes.
spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the animes, maybe pause this, go check them out, and come back. Go
knock
ahead,
them out
Nate.
real quick.
Yeah, they're pretty short. Go ahead, Nate.
Alright, so my overall rating was 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, the only downside was, first off, whenever I'm watching an anime, the protagonist, I have to like their style and look.
You
And
don't like the style and look of this pro
the
tag?
character of this one, while her personality is cool,
I love
was
that's
a
the main
combination-
thing. I love her personality.
yeah, she's a great character. It's just that look-wise, she is the combination of two things that I'm not a big fan of:
Like what?
lollies and the color pink.
Explain what lollies are to the podcast.
The appearance of a little girl
Welcome to Japan.
can either be an actual little girl or can be like 1,000-year-old woman in
He's like a
little girl's
vampire,
body.
like a vampire or something.
Yeah, it's something weird like that.
So explain so people aren't like turned off immediately by what you just said. Why this character's appearance is like that?
Okay, so the main character Karen is, first off, great name.
Yeah, for today's society.
Yeah, kept waiting for her to call a manager. But the main character Karen is just a very tall woman in real life, and she goes to college. So when she gets into VR, she just blazes through VR games because
quick.
apparently.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Nate.
go on. Okay.
For people that haven't seen any of the Sword Art universe, kind of give a quick background, like a real short story of like what this is about.
Okay. In the Sword Art universe, technology has advanced to where VR virtual reality games are the mainstay of video games. To the point where a revolutionary technology called the Nerve Gear was introduced and then kind of backfired. It trapped a bunch of people into a video game
Yeah, kinda.
for a very long time, that if you died in the video game, you died in real life. So, but after that, there was a new technology that became available that allowed people to not die in video games, thankfully.
Basically, it's like playing a regular video game, but your whole brain dives into it.
Yes, you are. It's basically you are in another world almost. So Karen kept bouncing between games, trying to find one that gave her an avatar that was to her liking, because she has a phobia against her being tall.
Yeah, she's very self-conscious about her height.
I would say, like, self-conscious is minor. She has a phobia
Yeah, that's true.
She like has panic attacks whenever she had characters that were as tall as her in real life. Which
that is true.
damn.
How tall do you think
That
she
would
really
suck.
is?
I'd say she's like either 6'1" or 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, and I think if I remember right, I looked into it. The character Karen, I want to say she's 20, something like that.
Yeah.
So she's an early, like late teens, early 20-year-old woman who is over 6 foot.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
sucks.
I mean,
I mean, for the general consensus of the world, that sucks.
yeah. Okay, I can. Yeah, I could agree with that. Oh, she is 6 foot tall, by the way.
Okay.
Anyway, so one of the things that this series kind of brought to my attention was because I never questioned it really in the other Sword Art Online content,
Yeah.
is that apparently you just cannot create your character whatsoever in virtual reality because
That's so stupid.
yeah, for especially considering at the end of the first Kirito arc, you're given the ability to create whole worlds. That's why VR like had a massive leap in popularity because you could create your own video games basically.
And that's how Gun Gale was born. People were
Yeah.
like, "We all love guns, America, yeah!" Bow, 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 bow.
I don't know if America was a part of it, but
In
yes,
the original
this-
Sword Art, they straight up say this is the
Did they?
most popular VR in the Western Earth, which is us.
Okay, I probably either forgot about that or missed it.
Oh,
either
real
way.
real fast.
Okay.
If you guys aren't aware, this Gun Gale Online, whatever it's called, alternative online or whatever, is not connected to the main anime. It's completely its own story.
It has cameos.
Not really though. It's like it'll mention like there was a swordsman who came into this game last year, and that's about the extent of its cameo.
There's a team that's directly connected to one of the characters.
My point is, if you don't want to have to go through all like 4 or 5 seasons of the original
Oh
Sword
yes,
Art,
it is a
you
separate story.
You could watch this all on your own. You will not be confused at all.
Yes, it is a separate story, but it is set in that world. So yeah, the fact that you can't character customize in VR games astounds me.
Yeah,
Because-
you would be so bummed. Like you like get all this technology, you're finally like, oh, I can dive in as VR. This would be so great. You can't create a character. It's just gonna be you. What?
Yeah, like the technology of this anime, I would absolutely love until now. Like,
But what
character
another
customization is a big deal for me.
what I don't understand in the original Sword Art series, in the very first episode, the whole thing was Kirito's was a beta tester for the game. When the game
Yes.
goes all sideways, one of the things that that guy who trapped him was he got rid of all of the skins and made everybody look like themselves. So doesn't that mean that they had custom skins in the beginning?
No, it just means that their skins were randomly generated or they were not themselves. Just like with Gun Gale. They are not themselves. Their skins are just randomly generated for them. And it makes
Okay.
sense
Okay.
for Kirito because when they introduced Kirito to the Gun Gale universe, he got a androgynous skin that a lot of people assumed he was a female because he had super long hair and he was very thin.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like it never clicked with me that I guess like he was going there for a specific reason, so I understand why he didn't create a character. But I guess he didn't create a character simply because he couldn't create a character.
That's so stupid. Like,
Yeah. So anyway, Karen bounces from video game to video game, trying to find an avatar that is to her taste, which is her taste. She wants to be very small and very cute.
Which is two things you love, right, Nate?
Yeah, no.
Small cuteness and pink.
The lolly style. She finally meets that or gets that in Gun-Gale. And okay, that's cool. Her style is, I will say her playing style is very not my type either,
Well, explain her play
because
style.
her playing style is spray and pray. She gets a submachine gun and just uses the sheer quantity of bullets to hit her targets rather than being able to do precise hitting.
And it's also kind of ironic that her speed is maxed out and she uses that to her advantage like crazy.
I wouldn't say that's ironic. That is just good strategy.
I know. It's like of all of the stats it maxed out, it did speed, which was perfect for her.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing
speed,
I'm guessing the stats are also randomly generated.
I think you can actually build up stats based on how you play.
Okay.
From what I understood of this anime, because the antagonist, I guess, Pedo,
Pedo.
she seemed to be a very good all rounder. She pretty much mastered every weapon.
Yeah, they even make a point in the anime to say like, I've never seen Pedo bring in the same gun twice.
Yeah. Which props. I will say, from a pure like anime villain kind of standpoint, Pedo is wasted on this anime.
I agree. She was a very cool villain that had a lot of potential.
She would have been much better in the main storyline, or had they made the stakes actual dangerous. Because
Yeah.
the only
Agreed.
this is the reason why this is a 7 out of 10. The stakes that they've tried to make seem very intense for this is that one person will die, and it's a person who wants to die.
Suicide.
That's it.
Yeah, and that I agree with that. Like I enjoy. So I'm the one who's recommending this, and I enjoy
Yes.
this anime. I do agree. I'd give it probably about an 8 out of 10, and I do agree that the story is kind of lacking, but I enjoyed the characters. I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like
No, it does.
I really enjoyed the characters, but the story kind of suffered for it.
I enjoyed the characters too, and if you take the story out, or if you place the characters in another story, I think it would benefit a lot better. Like Pedo, I like Pedo as a character, except for the fact that suicide seems to be her main goal.
Yeah, the whole thing was that she missed out on the death game of Sword Art Online in the original series, and he was like, so if I can't die in real life in the video game, I'll just kill myself. What? No.
Yeah. Yeah, she first off, she's a death fangirl. She is obsessed with playing games at high stakes, which, okay, you're a thrill seeker. That's fine. There are plenty of thrill seekers in the world. But she's a death seeker also, because this game could not have been the first time she loses, because the whole point of the second part of this anime is that Pedo decides that if she loses, if she dies in the next squad jam, which is a PvP team-based
Basically, team
event.
deathmatch. It's basically team
Yeah.
deathmatch.
Yeah, team deathmatch. If she dies in it, then she's going to kill herself as if she died because of it. That just doesn't make sense to me, especially when she also threatens to kill M,
Yeah.
the guy who loves her and is
I was
as
gonna-
crazy as her.
I was gonna ask what your thoughts on M was.
M is the emperor of simps.
Agreed. He's such a simp.
He is wow. At first I was like, okay, this guy's kind of, there's a character in another anime called High School of the Dead who is kind of like a nerd, out of shape kid in high school, but who is obsessed with military tactics, obsessed with guns, and all these like survival things that actually help him during the zombie apocalypse. M reminded me of that guy when he's like hearing the gunfire and he's naming off all of the guns that are being used and stating all of the stats those guns have. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's actually pretty cool. And then we get to the point where he's like, oh shit, no, I'm not that cool.
I just love her so much.
My woman wants to kill me if I die. And I don't want to die before she dies because I don't want to leave her in this world by herself.
Yeah, I'm cool with
I don't-
dying, but I just don't want to do it before her.
Yeah, I don't mind dying, but she's got to die first. And then I'll die because I can't bear to think of her being in this world by herself. Like,
That's so pathetic.
and then, even worse, he goes on to describe how he met her. He was a pure stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a redeeming character, to be honest.
No, like, character-wise, like, looks-wise, he looks like a pretty standard anime protag, actually, when they meet him in real life. He, like, okay, this guy could have been an anime protag. Personality-wise,
Terrible.
he is a stalking simp that is crazy. But it's, I mean, he's kind of perfect for Pedo. They are insanity combined.
What did you think, speaking of Peter, what did you think of the reveal of her real life person?
Oh, I guess that the episode where Karen wrote to her
Yeah.
idol.
Yeah, super
I was like-
obvious.
I was like, okay, that's probably gonna be Pedo because Pedo's her friend, and it's gonna be like a massive reveal when they meet in real life, and I'm like, oh, we've been friends all along, kind of thing.
It
And then
wasn't
Pedo
that.
started going, and then it started going on to like, Pedo wants to die, and I'm like, oh, maybe what the fuck?
Hey, I feel like this is your
reaction.
reaction with the last episode. It was like, it's actually me. And you're just like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, who would have guessed? Like the whole them trying to trick Karen into thinking it was the other chick, the manager, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, get that bitch out of here. That ain't her.
Get the hell out of here.
And then Karen just walks right by her and goes to the singer, and I'm like, yeah, obviously, come on, like. Even the
kidding.
main character knows this.
How do you feel about the main singer? Your whole thing with Lolly. She kind of I'm pretty sure she's a Lolly as well.
Yes.
And M is obsessed with her and loves her.
So Pedo is the opposite of Karen. Karen being a 6-foot woman who wants to be a lolly in video games. Pedo is a lolly in real life, but wants to be a more mature-looking woman in video games. Which
And M is
Yeah.
over there like, I love her anyway, no matter what.
yeah, which again goes into the whole M being
You're a
super.
stalker.
He stalked a lolly. I don't even know how old
They don't
Pedo
say.
is in
They
real life.
never say.
That
She could
So
be
we're
12.
yeah, we're not even sure if Pedo is like a lolly, like a woman just looks like a young girl,
Or is a
if
girl.
she's just a little girl. Like it does not look good for M. It doesn't really look good for any of them at the end of the anime. This is another reason why this is a 7 out of 10 for me.
I just wanted to get your reaction to that last episode so badly.
Because the last episode, Karen like is super emotional. She's like, I'm so glad you didn't kill yourself and all these things. Bitch, y'all need to start like taking her to get professional help. Because yeah, she's a great singer. Yeah, I guess she's cute, whatever, if you want to think that. The woman wants to commit suicide. She
Nah,
is
it's fine. That's cool.
she wants to commit suicide, and she threatens to kill people on the regular. You
That-
need to get professional help for her, not treat her, oh, this is normal.
That's normal,
No,
Nate. That's super normal.
this is not normal. It is, and what kills me is like throughout the series, every time someone finds out that Peto is going to kill herself, they all react the same. Oh no, that's insane. Yeah, that's insane. So why, in the last episode, when they meet Peto, they're not dragging her off to a mental hospital?
because they're just
like-
so relieved that she's not dead, Nate.
It boggles my mind. Like, if they were to make a second season, they need to fucking start it with Peto is in a mental hospital. M is in a mental hospital.
No, M's normal. M's the normal.
M is not normal.
He's
M should be in
normal.
jail.
He
The
should be.
only reason he's not in jail is because Peto blackmails him into becoming her slave, which he likes.
Yeah. What about Karen's friend who also joins into Gun Gale at the end of the series?
Okay, so I think her name was Fuka.
Yeah, something like that.
Fuka is your typical gamer. They started showing her, and I'm like, oh, okay, she is pretty much like 70% of the gamers that I have met online.
Yeah, she even mentions like, oh, I'm usually into fantasy games with swords and stuff like that. And I guess I'll do this for Karen. I don't mind going in this weird game.
Immediately becomes obsessed with blowing shit up with
Give me these giant like grenade launchers. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Has a combat knife for a hairnet or a hairpin. Which what? It is she was an okay character.
She's probably one of the best characters in the anime. All the other ones are kind of creepy.
I mean, she creeped on M when she found out he was rich. But
that's true. That is true.
that's- like the moment she found out that M, I don't even think she knew M's name. Like M, she didn't even know his username or anything. She's just like, so who's this person? Karen's like, oh yeah, he's giving us this money so that we can outfit ourselves for the next squad jam. Okay, how much? And then they find out how much, and he's like, can he be my sugar daddy? I'm like, what the you know nothing about this guy. Hold on now.
I immediately love him.
And then the moment she meets him in real life, she's like, oh shit, you're kind of hot. Hey, I had a dream that we were married. You want to go on a date? I'm like, man, she is very forward with someone she has no clue who he is. And she knows that he likes Peto.
I think we're not painting this anime very well.
I'm just talking about how it is. Like, the animation is pretty crisp.
It's a sword art. It's a sword art anime.
It is a very brutal, like, the death scenes, even though they like switch out blood for like pixelated bits.
Yeah, because it's a game.
Yeah, like digital camo kind of looking stuff. It is very brutal, especially when Peto goes all out, wiping out an entire squad by herself.
Yeah, that was
She
cool.
is again.
Bloodthirsty.
It just goes to show how great of a villain she would have been in the main storyline.
She makes me think of the female version of Voss from Far Cry.
Yes, very much so. Actually, all right. I'm gonna actually get into my notes so we can possibly move on to your
Sure.
thoughts on your anime.
All right.
All right. So my first episode 1 Squad Jam. My note was, the last fight scene reminds me of fighting Yoda in Soul Calibur. Such a tiny hitbox is annoying. And holy shit, I agree. Like, her character, like I said, is a lolly. That they've made a first-person shooter VR game with a very tiny hitbox character. So she literally hides in a suitcase.
So the first episode is them against the professionals or whatever, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is kind of like it introduces her and M right off the bat, and then the next episode is a prequel episode.
Yeah, it's like a flash
showing
forward.
how she got to that point.
Yeah, it's like a flash forward episode, basically.
Yes, and she, first off, yeah, she's like a tiny pink rabbit. She runs around super fast and hits like a tank with her submachine guns. And oh, also, the submachine gun gaining sentience every once in a while
Pichon!
was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I have read manga and I have seen anime with ego weapons where the weapons have sentient life in them. Did not expect to see that in GGO.
Don't worry, Pichon. I'll get you back. It's okay. I have faith in you.
And one might say, oh, it's just her imagination. Like, she's creating this personality in her head for the weapon. And at first, I would fully agree with that. Except, there are moments where to know things that Karen would obviously not know about. For example, I think it's the either last or the second to last episode, Pedo gets Pichon and is getting ready to shoot Karen. But Pichon is like, don't worry, Karen, I'll always protect you. And then blows up. Because the gun was apparently damaged internally and the barrel was blocked, thus giving Karen a chance to attack Pedo. There's no way Karen would have known that. She does not know weapons as well as M does.
She could have.
No. Everything we have seen of Karen has been her just flailing around. Like, she doesn't really even know the game. She just is apparently good at the way she plays.
Point and shoot.
Yeah. It to the point where she starts playing and almost immediately becomes a legend and a part of the game.
Yeah.
The Pink Devil. And she's like, I don't know how well I'd be against players. Karen, you have been slaughtering players in your own little zone to the point they think you're some kind of like myth. Don't act like you're not a straight up Reaper at this point.
So what's your next note say?
For episode 2, titled GGO. I actually, this is the moment where I connect with Karen. I'm like, I completely understand where you're coming from at this point. Her wanting to change her clothing colors. Again, I am a massive fan of character customization. The way your outfit looks is a part of that. She's like, I want cuter outfits. Is there a way to do that? Not finding that, but then finding a color changing mechanic in the game. Love it. They had something similar in Star Wars The Old Republic, where you could change the colors of your outfits to match, because you don't want a Jedi that looks completely mismatched, having a green tunic and like orange pants. That looks weird.
I'm okay with that.
Of course you are.
Green and orange go good together, man. Look at Aquaman.
Wow, yeah. So yeah, I completely understand the fact that she wanted to change her clothes. And then the way that Pedo talks about their weapons is another thing that makes me think that maybe Pichon truly did gain sentience, because they're talking about how you get your weapon and you feed it the blood of your enemies by killing people. And by doing so, it will become part of you. It will get stronger with you. So I'm wondering if Gun-Gale truly does have ego weaponry that evolves with you as you progress.
And yet hers turned into a little cute, like, don't worry, I'm here for you.
I mean, Yeah, because it goes with her style. It goes with her character. It grew with her. That's why I'm like, I genuinely do think there are ego weapons in Gun Gale. And if that's the case, Kirito needs to get an ego lightsaber so bad.
I don't think he's ever going back to Gun Gale.
Probably not. But I can hope because I genuinely did like him in there.
So what's your next?
So episode 3.
Are you
Fan
going through?
letter.
Are you going through every episode?
Yes.
Oh come
So
on, dude.
I don't have very many notes, honestly. It's like one per episode.
Okay.
And actually, we already talked about this one. Episode 3, I predicted I feel like Pito is her musical idol. And that was the only one for that one. Episode 4, Death Game. I did not expect the betrayal of M. Like trying to kill Karen at
Yeah.
the end of the death match. Did not expect that at all. And then him like crying like a baby the moment she immediately disarmed him again, showing that I don't know if I can take on real people. You just took down M, who has shown to be a very good player
With ease.
yeah, like I won't say she's the one who reduced him to being a crybaby. That was purely Pito and her insanity. But the fact that she was easily able to disarm him and basically make him a hostage just goes to show how much of a natural Karen seems to be at this game.
Yeah.
And then we go into episode 5. Leave this last battle to me. Oh, we already talked about that too. The ego weapon. I was like, oh wait, so her gun became an ego weapon. Okay. Then Pito being a death fangirl in episode 6. Episode 7. Talked about her friend, how her friend is weird and has a knife for a hair tie.
Yeah, she's cool.
Oh. Episode 8. The booby trap.
Is that the one in the house in the cabin?
No, I think that is the next one, actually. Yeah, 10-second massacre. So episode 8, the only note I have is that groin shot, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the characters in that reacted to that exactly as I reacted to it as well. For context, Karen just like takes out a couple of people, uses her speed, whips out her knife, and just slides under a dude with the knife pointing straight up and goes straight through his testicles.
He's fine.
It is sickening, honestly. It made me a little nauseous just thinking about that. Then episode 9, the 10-second massacre. Pito is really good at the game. She wipes out almost everybody by herself practically.
Within like a minute.
Yeah, like it's crazy because Pito's team gives off the feel of professionals. Like they are hired mercs they seem to know what they're doing. They get wiped out very quickly. Pito wakes up and is like, I'm going to have fun now. And just immediately dispatches almost all of the rival team that was trying to take them out. And then whips out, in the next episode, whips out a laser sword like Kirito did.
And you were like, oh shit!
Yeah, because it just basically made her Darth Kirito at this point. Because
Yeah, and
Kirito's...
what did you think of the part where she like flipped it and like it came out like Darth Maul style and just right into that dude's freaking eye socket?
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't his eye socket. It was his forehead.
Oh, it was his
And
forehead?
it showed his skin bunching up around the lightsaber as the lightsaber penetrated his skull. And I'm like, holy, like, if this was not a digital moment, like, this would be insanely gruesome and gore-filled.
This is something
guts.
you'd see on like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, this is something you'd see on Elfen Lied. Holy crap, Pito is a beast at this game. Also kind of realized that like 60% of the players in this game have to be insane. because like earlier on before Pito's team gets attacked, they meet up with another team that tries to make a deal with them, and then Pito wipes them all out except for one. And that one person acts like Pito just killed all of her friends in real life.
Yeah, because she's went crazy.
She's like, the only way you can take down. First off, they introduce her as someone who just doesn't like killing people, even in this kind of game. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand that.
I play Grand Theft.
Yeah, I wouldn't say normal. A lot of players or a lot of normal people would play a first-person shooter and be like, have no problem killing players.
Me.
So that aspect that would be normal. But more like I kind of understand because I play games like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead and don't want to commit crimes. I want to be like that's not normal. The normal thing is to commit crimes in those games.
Slaughter everyone.
Exactly. So this person is a very timid person apparently. Like they don't want to kill people. Pito kills her entire squad and she's like, how dare she kill all of them? She's a beast. She's a monster. She's vermin. The only way to get rid of the hatred in her voice over her computerized friends getting killed is
literally it's just the equivalent of like you get killed in Call of Duty and you're like, oh man, I guess I have to wait to respawn now.
Yeah, like guess we're gonna move on to the next match. No, she's acting like they just got killed. She's never going to see them again, and so she whips out this anti-tank rifle and just goes like, I'm going to kill her. And I'm like, are you crazy too? This is a game. This is not real life. Pito did not just kill all of your friends.
Told you, man, she should have been in the original Sword Art.
And then they also mentioned Sinon in this episode.
That was cool. I like that.
The Amazon team that are all lollies, but their avatars are like bodybuilding women who are just jacked.
Don't worry, I'm going to use myself as a human shield.
That actually goes into my next note for this. The corpses being invisible in this game are invincible in this game mode for 10 minutes is broken. Like that is just bad game mechanics right there. Because we see it used in the very first episode with Karen using the body of someone as a shield, and then just wiping out the rest of his team. Then we see it in this episode when one of the Amazon women just sits on a rock and dies. And then her body, being massive, becomes both a shield and a tripod for their anti-tank rifle that they use to take out the other Pito's team.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is such a broken mechanic to have. To have an invincible object in front of you for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then into the next episode with Psycho Lynn. This is where I basically mentioned that Pito would have been a great serial killer in the original Sword Art Online.
Laughing Coffin.
Yeah, she would have either been a member of Laughing Coffin or hunted down Laughing Coffin. It wouldn't have mattered to her, as long as she got to kill and feel the thrill of almost dying in this game.
Yeah.
And then episode 12, the very last one. Holy fuck. The death of Pito is brutal. Again, if this was not a digitalized death game, just holy shit. Karen sacrificing her hands to Fuko, and then having Fuko kick her towards Pito so that she can bite out the throat of Pito. Holy shit. Like, the gore wasn't even there, and I feel like I saw blood and viscera. Like, it was just so savage. I imagine the gore.
It's pretty brutal.
And then we see M. This is what I call M, the Emperor of Simps, and I was like, oh, yep, okay, Pito is the singer. So, yeah. Overall, I would say that this is a 7 out of 10, but pretty much only because the high stakes was they have a friend who is suicidal. They don't try to get them help at all.
At least the action was cool.
Yeah, the animation of it was crisp. The animation was very good. The anime itself was good. Take out the main conflict of the story and just have it be a competitive game. I think it would have been an 8 or a 9 out of 10. The drama that they tried to infuse with it, with Pito being suicidal and crazy, and then them just not helping her with that, that is what made it go down. If she had been suicidal and they decided to help her, get help for her, then it would have probably been an 8 in my book. Still kind of a weird thing with her and M, but
They love each other.
Yeah, well, honestly, I don't think Pito loves him.
No, Pito does not give a shit about him.
He is her slave. But yeah,
we got to move on.
Yeah, overall 7 out of 10. I would recommend this if you are a fan of the animation style for Sword Art.
Side
but
note,
other than that,
go ahead.
Other than that, story-wise, I'd give it a pass.
I do recommend anybody who has like a PlayStation 4 or a Switch. They have a game called Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, and you get to play as a character in the Gun Gale universe, a custom character who interacts with not only Lin and all the characters from this anime, but also all the characters from the original anime as well.
Real quick on that, do you get to create your character, or is it randomly generated?
I don't remember.
To be accurate,
I
it
think
should be randomly generated.
I think it's custom character. I think.
I
don't remember. It's been years. I remember it's my favorite Sword Art game, but
okay.
It's very fun. It is all subbed. It is all in Japanese, though.
Fair enough. For those who are wary of watching subbed, like me, good luck.
All right. So we are going to move on to my anime that you had me watch, and that was Romance Killer on Netflix, the Netflix original series.
Yes.
And right off the bat, I am going to give it... What do you think I'm going to give it? Do you think I liked it? Do you think I didn't like it? What do you think?
I suggested this purely on the fact that I think you would like it, so I'm thinking you're going to give it either an 8 out or a 9 out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I enjoyed this. This anime started out... even in my notes, the very first episode, I'm like, this is a super weird-ass anime.
Yes.
Super weird anime, but it was awesome. The comedy part was very funny, and I quite enjoyed the dynamic between all the characters.
Yes, that's actually something I enjoyed too. I was a little bit wary of it, thinking I had some preconceived notions about this, but when I watched it, I was like, this feels like a Raceland anime, honestly.
Yeah, another thing that was going along with the weird part is like all the transitions between like the different styles of animation. Whenever it's like she's like, but they're taking away this, and then like she like goes like a little thought bubble, and it's all like cartoony style anime of like a little bonk on the head of like, you can't have this, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it was like, what is happening? So if you don't know much about this, it's basically the main character. What is her name? I already forgot her name.
It's been a while since I watched it. Not entirely sure myself either.
Oh, well. The main character is
I'll look it up while you talk about it.
She's a female with red hair, and her whole thing is that she's a massive gamer. Her whole life, she's just like, I only want to focus on 3 things: video games, chocolate, because I love chocolate, and my cat Momohiki, I think her name is, and she's obsessed with cats, and that's her 3 loves. It's like video games, chocolate, cats, and she does not really care about people that much. She only to the extent of like, I go out to the world to live so I could go home and play video games. Sounds like another person I know who relates very well, who may or may not be on this podcast, Nate.
Yeah, no, take away the chocolate aspect.
And the cats.
Yeah, replace cats with dogs, take out chocolate, and replace it with, like...
Cheese.
Yeah, cheese. Yeah, perfect, actually. Yeah, cheese. And then, this is the female me.
Yep. So, the whole thing is that this, like, magical creature, this little like, yellow ball creature called Riri, she pops up. He or she, they don't really explain what gender the thing is.
I believe Riri is genderless. It can bounce between anything it wants.
Right. So the Riri pops up and was like, "I'm a wizard. Magic's real, and I'm here to make you fall in love. And I'm going to I'm going to ban your 3 favorite things, which is video games, cats, and chocolate. And you will get them back once I complete my mission of having you fall in love. And I'm going to set up scenarios where it's like one of those romantic, like rom-com style video games where it's like you're the main protagonist being simped into a bunch of characters."
Yeah, love those dating sims.
Yeah, that's it. Dating sims. That's it. That's what I was thinking of. And she basically becomes the main character of a dating sim. And she is super against it. She's like, "I will do anything in my power to make sure I don't fall in love."
Yes.
And then she gets thrown into all these crazy scenarios, all these crazy characters. And, like, there's, like, I think there's 3 main characters. There's, like, 3 boys that are the main 3 boys.
Yes.
There's basically 2 main boys and a third one that's kind of thrown in there. But, yes, there's 3 main boys.
There's also kind of a 4th one.
I know. I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's mainly the first boy. Again, I don't remember any of their names. I just watched. I'm terrible at names.
Allow me. All right, I have the names here. For the main character, her name is Anzu.
That's it, Anzu.
And the first boy is Tsukasa.
Tsukasa, yes. He is the best. Anyways, Tsukasa he's the first boy that interacts with her. He's basically like this, like, quiet, super handsome, popular boy that all the girls love. He's quiet. Yeah, we'll get
so fucking savage.
Yeah, and his whole thing is like, I don't want to date anybody. I just want to be alone. I don't want to, I just kind of feel bad for being involved. And then, like, so some stuff happens where she, like, knocks the phone out of his hand, gets him involved in her life, and they end up start living together. So, yeah, there's a huge backstory with this guy that it's like, I feel so bad for this character.
Yeah. At first I was like, oh no, like, the mysterious cool guy, of course she's gonna fall for him. And then start seeing his backstory, I'm like, oh no. I feel, this guy does not deserve any of this. Leave him alone.
So in my notes, real quick before I dive any deeper, I feel bad for all the characters that were kind of forced into her life.
Yeah.
Like, so the little wizard guy, Riri, he uses his magic to basically speed up the interactions that she would have with these characters in the normal timeline. Like, the next character I'm going to bring up, which is her childhood friend, was supposed to meet her like a couple years later, but he's like, nah, we're gonna force it now. And so that happens, and then, like I said with the first one, he basically is like, I'm gonna put him in the path of you. You're supposed to meet him later on, but we're gonna put him in the path of you by having you knock the phone out of his hand, so they get together earlier, stuff like that. And I've always felt terrible, like, they were just so forced.
Real quick, what did you think of Tsukasa's reaction to being confessed to in the train station?
Tsukasa is which one again?
The first guy.
Like when the girls are all like, "We love you, Tsukasa. Here, take my chocolates," and he's just like,
the one specific girl that actually walked up to him and was like, "Can we go out?" And he's just like,
"Kick rocks, bitch."
Yeah, he's like, "Nope." Just walks around her without even, like, looking at her.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, Tsukasa, once you get his backstory, it's understandable, but holy fuck, he is
That
savage as fuck when it comes to love.
Don't worry, there's a character I'm going to talk about that's way worse.
Oh yeah.
Another thing in my notes is I said that this seems like a reverse harem. Normal
Yes.
anime harems is like there's one guy who's surrounded by tons of beautiful hot women that all are obsessed with him. This is the opposite of that. It's just one girl that has no interest in love, and all these hot guys keep popping up around her and forcing them like in her life.
Yes.
I just thought that was
is a reverse
ironic.
harem.
Yeah, I was just thought that was so ironic. I was like, oh, okay. So the next character we already mentioned is, what was his name? The childhood friend?
Junta.
Junta. Junta is a childhood friend that she completely forgot even existed, which another made me think of like, wow, really being forced in their lives. They even make a comment about how they just like brainwashed this random guy to be in her life. And that's exactly what I thought. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
this wizard sucks. Like this guy, what's going to happen when this guy is broken of the spell?
It goes to great lengths to make you think that Junta is not actually her childhood friend. It's just a spell that Riri.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought. And I was like, wow, screw the wizard, dude. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
But now, it turns out he really is a childhood friend that she completely forgot about because he was a little chunky little nerd kid that nobody talked to.
Except
her. And then now he's like this like hot guy in her life. And he's like, I've been in love with you since day one.
Into sports.
Yeah. Like, complete opposite of what he was as a child. Turns out it's all because she made a comment like, wow, you'd be good at baseball. You should give that a shot sometime. Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to change my whole life for her.
Yeah, I do love the fact, like, she makes just an offhand comment that she's not even thinking about. And he's just like, this is now my way of life. And
It'll please her.
Becomes super popular and becomes, like, super hot to women. And still, she's the only one he wants.
This guy is so goddamn friend-zoned, it's ridiculous.
It is very sad.
Not one of my favorite characters, by the way, because of how pathetic he is when it comes to being, like... And it comes from a place where I knew, when I was growing up, in high school specifically, I was the kid who was like, I really like this girl. I just want to be with her. But then it was like, friend-zoned, hardcore. That's okay. One day she'll notice me. Like, no, what was I thinking back then? Same thing with this guy.
Also, this guy, it's just that he reminds you of yourself.
Yeah, and I was just like, pathetic.
Honestly, I kind of like him the same as much as I like Tsukasa.
Tsukasa is 100% the best character in this anime. Like,
Tsukasa just had a much more tragic backstory.
All right, before I get to the final guy, Tsukasa is the guy that Anzu should end up with. 100% is the guy that she belongs with.
Honestly?
100%.
I don't agree with that.
That you're wrong, but okay.
My reasoning is I don't believe she should end up with any of them. If
the end game is her finding love and she has to pick between these 3/4 guys, it should be him. 100% should be him.
Okay, like if she does end up with someone, yes, I would want it to be Tsukasa.
100% should be him.
I don't want her to end up with anybody because, like, that is the whole point of the anime, is that she doesn't need love that way. She doesn't need it to be forced upon her. She will find it eventually.
So that brings us to the third guy, which is the worst character. No, not the worst character in the anime. No. One of the worst characters in the anime, though, is the rich guy. I don't even remember his name.
Hijiri, I think.
Yeah, the guy who's like the third forced love interest in this was just like, you should be honored to be in my presence.
Yeah.
You should be you're privileged, these whelps around me, to be around such magnificent people such as myself. My bodyguard will pick you up later so we can go on our date, but I will buy clothes for you because I don't like the commoner look with you. Are you not falling in love right now? No, get away from me, you suck. I don't understand. Why does she not love me? Why? It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, he genuinely believes everyone but his family are peasants.
Like, they even calls them peasants. He calls Anzu, who is his date, a peasant.
Yes.
Like, oh my god.
He is not a very likable character at all.
And then when he gets denied, it was like, I don't need your mommy and daddy money to impress me. I like guys who can earn their own keep. Fine. If I must make myself go with the peasants, I will go get a job at a gas station. Just so I could get my own money to impress you. Like, what is your problem, dude?
I will say that in that regard, I do find it admirable that while he does have a really shit personality, bad ego, he does not waver from the hard stuff. Like, he doesn't run as soon as it gets difficult. He's like, oh, she's not impressed with my family's money. Well, then I will earn it myself.
It makes me think of a really shittier version of Coming to America.
Yes, very much so. Except,
Like
actually,
a really
a very shitty version.
A very shitty version of Coming to America.
I would almost say instead of a shitty version, it's just the opposite version, because in Coming to America, he's like, he doesn't want to tell anybody about his family's money, so it's the exact opposite of this.
And this one is like, peasants bow to me. I am greatness, and they're like, get away from me. Why? Why aren't you bowing? Like,
yeah, they watched that movie and were like, let's write the opposite of this character.
So yeah, and then the fourth guy, who's sorta the fourth guy, is not really a. He's in there. He's in there.
Yeah.
I call him in my notes that heartbreak guy, though. Like, that's what I put in there, is to remind myself about this guy. Is that I felt kind of bad for this guy, who they were like. So in one of the episodes, they all get together. Everybody, like her little friend group, get together, and we're like, we're gonna play some games, and if you lose, you have to confess your first love. And of course, the boys lose, and they're all confessing their love. And then there's this one guy, again, the heartbreak guy. I don't know his name. I don't remember, but
I might be remembering it wrong. Then, what does this guy look like, real quick?
I think he has red hair, and he's got like a piercing, and he looks like the typical like anime like hoodlum guy.
Okay. That is not the guy I was thinking of, so technically I would say there are 5.
Oh, you're talking... Okay, I know who you're talking about. No, I was talking about this guy.
No, I genuinely forgot all about
this guy, I felt kind of bad, because he was the kind of guy who's just like, don't worry about who my first love was. It was my teacher. Ha 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 ha. Turns out he like straight up confesses to Anzu, like, no, my first love was you, and I still have feelings for you. And she's like, I'm going to stop you right there. No. No. He's like, but why? You have a girlfriend, dude. Like, you're literally confessing your love for me while you're with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. Like, it's hilarious that he is the first one to actually confess his feelings to her out of the men.
And that's not the part I feel bad for this guy. That guy's terrible. Like, you don't do that. If you're with somebody, you don't just confess your love for someone else. That's messed up.
That aspect.
Yeah. But then it was what happened right after that. All the friends were like, oh, look, he got rejected. Oh, you confessed your love. Oh, look at you. You suck. I was like,
on one hand,
brutal.
Yeah, on one hand, I'm like, fuck, guys. Like, why you gotta be like that? But then on the other, I'm like, oh, wait, he's in a relationship.
He's cheating. He's literally going to cheat on his girlfriend.
Fuck off. Like, you kind of deserve a little bit of punishment for this, bro.
So,
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I was just like, damn. So then we bring on back to the first guy, which is, what's his name again? What was it?
Wait, which one? Oh, Tsukasa.
Tsukasa. We're going to dive deep into his little backstory. Where it turns out...
You want to tell the 5th possible?
I will when we get to that last episode.
Okay. Well, you were introducing all of the characters, so I wasn't sure if you want to go him too.
He'll get mentioned.
Okay.
So we go back to the first guy and go to his backstory. So it turns out I guess it was like junior high or something. middle school, that he got a stalker. He got this like chick who in her mind was like, we're in love. To the point where it's like she started creating like alternate Amazon accounts, and her mother's name was like, I'm sending you gifts. Do you like the gifts? Who the fuck are you, bitch? Stop. What are you doing? Why are you like you're impersonating my mother to send me stuff? And then like his terrible father, who was just like, how dare you do this? How dare you take your mother's name and send yourself things? I don't trust you. Like, you don't believe your son when he says he has a stalker? What the hell, Dad?
Yeah, that not the greatest father of the year.
And then like slaps him around like, you're a disgraceful son. Like, what the fuck? And then the stalker gets even worse, to the point where it's like, she hid in his house and like drugged him to lay in the bed with him. What the fuck was that scene, Nate?
Yeah, no, it's pretty fucking dark.
That was like, this is supposed to be like a haha slapstick comedy romantic story. Drugging you so I could sleep with you. What the fuck just happened? Where did this turn?
Super dark. But that is sadly life. There are dark moments even in the most lighthearted of romantic comedies.
Yeah, so he basically has this giant stalker, and that was the reason why he lives alone, is he like moved away so he could be away from her. And it turns out she finds him because he was with Anzu and the little gang of protags, and somebody took a picture and saw him in the background, and the stalker was like, I finally found my love. He's in the background of a picture online. And then like stalks him to the house that they're all staying in. And yeah, and then Anzu basically like protects him to the point where it's like she actually like gets almost killed protecting him.
I don't know if you mentioned it before, but Junta also began living with them.
Which is weird, by the way.
It was her, Tsukasa, and Junta all living under the same roof.
Yeah, super strange.
Yeah, not a typical high school thing. But when magic is involved,
yeah,
yes.
But yeah, it was just like, that's why I said that he belongs with Anzu out of all the characters if they end up getting together, because it's like she straight up was willing to get herself killed for this guy.
Yeah, but I feel like she would have been like that for all of them.
Yeah, but it was more
maybe
prevalent.
Hijiri.
It was more prevalent with him.
The only reason it was more prevalent with him is because he's the one who had the stalker. If Junta had a stalker as well, I'm pretty sure she would have done the same thing for Junta.
Yeah, probably.
Mainly, but that's because she sees them as irreplaceable friends.
Not lovers.
Which, yeah, that is kind of my takeaway from that anime, though, is that while Riri is trying to like force romance on her, really Riri is just building up a giant friend circle for her.
Yeah, so it ends up with the stalker getting taken down by the police because of, I guess, friendship, took him down. They all kind of like stopped her. But
So it actually was mentioned briefly in later episode. Riri is the reason that she was saved.
I was just about to get that. So it turns out they couldn't keep the stalker away from the guy, and Riri broke a taboo magical law of like interacting with somebody who's not the main character. So it's like his whole thing is that you can only use your magic to help progress her love, like her romance.
Yes.
And he broke the taboo law by using his magic to erase the memory of the stalker. So she has no memory of loving this and stalking this guy. So when that happened, he was banished from being around her anymore.
That's not what I was speaking of, though.
What do you mean?
It was briefly mentioned that they all got messages.
Oh,
from
that too.
Rio.
Yes, that too.
That's the reason they were all there at that same time. So
Right.
It wasn't just like, a random coincidence or them all stalking her. It was literally Rio knew what was happening, couldn't interfere, and Riri is Rio.
Yeah.
And so that's how he saved her, is that he made sure that all of them were there to help her.
Yeah. So, like I said, he used taboo magic, broke the rules, so he got banished. Turns out, Anzu did not like that. So she's like, no, Riri is my friend now, and I'm going to make it where he is allowed to be in the human realm still. So the new wizard that showed up messed up, revealed herself to the humans, and she's like, I'm going to blackmail this wizard into bringing Riri back. So he brings Riri back, and he's like, he can't stay. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. Riri can transform into a female and into a male. He has the possibility to change his gender whenever he feels like. And
yes, it is he's a plushie, magical plushie, it looks like.
Yeah. And so he turns himself into the boy version. I don't remember what you said his name was. Like
Rio.
Rio. And she's like, your whole goal is to make it where I have romance options. The 0.0000001% chance I might fall in love with Rio here, he can't go. He's a love interest now. And she's like,
Yep.
What? So then that's their way of keeping him in the world. It's like, hey, could be a love interest. You never know.
I love how their reaction to that is the same as mine. Was like, that's never going to happen. You are not going to love Rio in that way. But they're like, but damn it, that is a loophole. Fuck.
Yeah. So that basically runs down the whole anime. It's just like there's a bunch of really weird characters, and then it gets really dark, and then it gets really slapsticky and comedy again. Overall, I really enjoyed this anime. Like, I do hope there's a second season to continue it, but I don't think there's going to be.
I think it was announced already, actually.
Oh, really? Cool.
1 second.
But yeah, I did enjoy it, and if there is a second season, I'm down for it to see where it goes from there. Is there a second season?
Nope. It has not been renewed yet.
Oh.
But the manga is ongoing, so that it is possible that.
But the problem is, it's a Netflix original, and Netflix loves to cancel shows.
That is true.
But yeah,
Damn,
that is my take on this anime. Nate, good recommendation. I gave it like an 8 out of 10. I did enjoy it, and yeah, it was right up my alley, like you said it would be.
Yeah, like I said, I watched this and I was like, this is all about wrestling right here. It's got that high school romance drama comedy combo.
You're making me sound like a really weirdo, but that's all right.
I mean, people can't help their taste in anime, bro. You made me watch an anime about a pink lolly.
Hey, I just finished up Black Clover, so I do like action stuff. Come on, man.
Yes, that is true. You do like some action.
I love a lot of action. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, man. That was my introduction to anime.
Like 8 episodes of screaming.
Hey, shut up. Anyways, that brings me to the end of my wrap up about the anime. We did actually get a comment on Discord. You can check out our links and below: Discord, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. If you want to make comments or suggestions to the podcast. And it was from our friend Ty. He said, never seen either of these anime. Probably won't watch them either this week. But good luck, guys. So at least he was there to give us support at least.
Yes, he's always there to support us whenever we need support.
I'm not gonna get into like what you guys are actually watching, but good luck.
Yeah. I don't blame him though, because anime is a time investment. You have to.
And I don't think Ty is super into anime.
Well, he is. He's into anime. It's just like that's the whole reason we do these. It's because I would never have watched alternative Gun Gale,
which is surprising to me because it's part of the Sword Art universe, and you love Sword Art.
I do, but I also haven't even seen the last 2 seasons of Sword Art. It's just I have other things in life that I want to invest in.
Nate, catch up on Sword Art.
I will eventually.
Do it this weekend.
I can understand where he's coming from. it is a time investment, and sometimes you just gotta prioritize what you truly like.
Yeah, I mean, if these are 12 episodes each, that's 24 episodes in 1 week. I could see why you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, it's actually why we limit it to 12 episodes, not go
The next
into
anime
24.
swap, Nate, is going to be all 175 episodes of Fairy Tail. Get to it, Nate.
Then I will make you watch Case Closed, which is, I think, in like the 800 episodes.
Nah, but that brings us to the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you let me know if you guys like this anime swap thing. Maybe we'll do a third one. I don't know. It's just something we tested out to see if listeners liked it. Anything you like to say, Nate?
If I have anything to say about it, we will. There are still anime I want you to watch.
Okay. I got one that I actually want to watch that you've recommended in the past, so maybe that'll be the next one you can recommend to me.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, like I said, links in the description below for anything you want to comment or anything like that. Get involved in the podcast, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. See you later.